So I think here's a cool update when it comes to Onyx. Nothing I say is financial advice, but Onyx recently announced how there's now over 6.35 billion XCN that is being locked up at the Onyx app. Now, people may be thinking, who cares about this? But if we do some basic math, I think this may showcase something that's cool, in my opinion, personally for me. Because if we take a look at, again, 6.35 billion XCN, that's around 13% of the total supply, and that's around 9% of the maximum supply. So it's not that bad. Again, it's not the best, but I think it's pretty cool. Now, if we assume the current price of XCN, if we times that by 6.35 billion, basically that'd be almost $39 billion. So again, the current market cap of XCN is almost 230 million. If around $39 million of XCN is being locked up, I don't think it's that bad. Again, I think it's actually pretty impressive in the grand scheme of things. I think, first of all, that showcases that the Onyx app isn't useless, because a lot of people like to tell me, oh, no one cares about that. But still, if that much XCN is being locked up through the Onyx app, I think, first of all, it showcases that, quite a good amount of people care about that. Not to mention, I think it showcases how a lot of people out there may have more of a long-term conviction or more of a long-term outlook, I think, when it comes to XCN or not. Why would that many want to lock up their XCN, right? Usually people lock it up not only for kind of what they could get in return, but also they lock it up sometimes because they have more of a long-term conviction when it comes to XCN or even just any project in general. So yeah, I think this is actually a pretty cool thing in my opinion. And if there was a hypothetical altcoin season, I am thinking about 25 cents when it comes to XCN. The market cap at that point would be around 9 billion, which is, if we think about it, still around 9 times less pretty much than a market cap in which Dogecoin once reached in 2021. So I don't think it's such an outlandish thing anyways, hypothetically, but we'll wait and see. But even if, let's say, it never sees around a 9 billion market cap, let's say XCN never goes to 25 cents. If it could just go back to a billion in market cap, I'm not going to complain. But really, the way you take a look at it is we're around 4 times lower than that, right? In terms of market cap as of right now, when compared to around a billion in terms of market cap, which we saw slightly over a year ago. But then if it went to around a 9 billion market cap, it wouldn't necessarily surprise me either, because I don't feel like it's such an outlandish market cap to begin with, maybe. Especially for a project like Onyx, which is one of the most popular ones actually within the space of global trade and finance. So either XCN goes to like around a billion in terms of market cap, or all the way up to around 9 billion. Either way, I have no complaints. Of course, the higher it go, the happier I'd be. But if it never reaches around a 9 billion market cap, which wouldn't even surprise me anyways, but I'm saying if it never did that and it just only maybe went back to around a billion in terms of market cap, like what we saw back in 2025, I'm not going to complain either, because again, many projects out there, especially kind of the more established ones, yes, they had a pullback, but they're not around like 4 times or 5 times lower than where they were around a year ago. I mean, for instance, Ethereum's not around 5 times lower than where it was slightly over a year ago. Neither is Bitcoin, neither is BNB. So again, when it comes to XCN, sure, it may not have like a stability, so to speak, of those more massive projects, but at the same time, just because the pullback has been so low, if it recovers again, maybe, and goes to around a billion in terms of market cap, like what we saw before, like I'm already pretty happy at that point, just because the starting point is already pretty low as of right now, despite the slight recovery. Now, the thing for me is, usually a lot of people, they start focusing on a project after it's kind of done its thing, right? After the project has kind of, maybe went on a journey, then a lot of people believe in it. But for me, I kind of want to think about it the opposite way, because I want to be more focused when things are relatively speaking pretty low, because again, I want to be a part of that journey. If I'm just trying to enter up here and leave down here, what's the point? I don't want to do that. Of course, I'd like to be a part of the journey. So personally for me, I don't want to wait for a certain confirmation to happen. Like some of my friends out there tell me that, oh, I have to wait for this confirmation or that confirmation, but that's not my style. I just dollar cost average once a month, because I'll never be able to know exactly when a market could pick up. I'll never be able to know exactly when a project could have that recovery. So I just like to stay prepared by holding and waiting, and that's what I do. So in case maybe something does happen, I'll maybe be more prepared, right? Because I was holding the entire time anyways. So it's not like there's any extra effort when it comes to me to believe in this project. It's literally I believe in it, I hold, and I wait, and that's it. But again, I'm not going to wait for confirmation when it comes to XCN. Like, I'm not going to wait for it to reach around a 600 million market cap. Then I'm like, oh yeah, I'll believe in it again. I mean, that's not my style. Even if we assume it goes to like around a 600 million market cap, we're still over 2 times lower than that. So what? I'm going to have to wait until that journey happens before I enter? No way. Again, right? If we're over 2 times lower than that, why would I wait for that journey to already happen before I enter? Yeah, I'm not going to do that. So that's why I like to be preferably dollar cost averaging at a low of a point as possible. I can't always control that, but preferably I like to do that. So as of right now, there's really no concern for me. When it comes to Onyx, I'm just still waiting. I'm still staying patient. However, again, seeing how there's over 6.35 billion XCN being locked up at the Onyx app, at least from a post that they mentioned not too long ago, I found that to be pretty impressive, even though it's not the best. But nonetheless, though, I mean, Onyx, as of right now, people are saying that it's a little bit boring, even despite the slight recovery. But I tend to disagree with that because, of course, XCN hasn't had the best recovery. However, at least now it's above 200 million again in terms of market cap. So I do like the recovery a little bit, but we'll wait and see. But it's not like XCN has really been underperforming. I mean, if we take a look at ZBCN, its closest competitor, that's also around a 200 million market cap. XDC, XLM, it hasn't really like waken up in such a massive way either. So it's kind of moving somewhat at the same pace as of right now, kind of percentage wise in terms of the recovery a little bit when compared to some of its competitors. But yeah, I mean, it's not like it's doing so bad in my opinion. Now, also on top of that, though, the reason why I'm still very happy when it comes to XCN even right now is because the market cap is still below 300 million, in which case I actually do like that for accumulation personally for me, because the lower something is, the happier I'd be actually for dollar cost averaging. So it's not a concern for me. But nonetheless, whatever happens, I'm still going to be dollar cost averaging once a month, even though I'm not telling anyone to do anything. Now, we have to keep in mind, Onyx, first of all, they're working towards the new version of the Onyx wallet, right? And also on top of that, furthermore, we already know that before the end of this month, Onyx is planning to launch the mainnet of their layer 1 blockchain, which is called Goliath. So really, in the grand scheme of things, they kind of still have some things planned. So I do like that. And as long as I'm seeing activity, as long as I'm seeing, the project still trying to do something at least, and as long as I'm at least seeing the project at least attempt to do things, right? Basically, I don't see why that's such a bad thing. The Ethereum bridge, when it comes to Goliath, that right there is going to be powered by something called Chain. Now, let's keep in mind, right? Chain is on the Onyx ecosystem. However, furthermore, Chain as an entity not that long ago fully upgraded to ISO 20022, which was really impressive. Furthermore, remember quite a while back ago when Chain rebranded to Onyx? Now, of course, Chain as an entity, it's still doing its thing, but I'm saying historically, if we take a look at Onyx, Chain did rebrand to Onyx, right? So when I take a look at that right there, I think it's pretty cool having something that recently fully upgraded to ISO 20022, yet is powering the Ethereum bridge when it comes to their layer 1 blockchain called Goliath. Now, so far, we've only seen the testnet when it comes to Goliath, but again, they're planning the mainnet on the 27th of March. So that's something that I'm looking forward to. And I'll be sure to make more updates when it comes to Onyx moving forward. So hopefully I'll stay tuned for that. I just want to say thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a very nice day. It's Willie the Captain. I'm out. Peace. Bye.